On this week's episode of Marketing O'Clock.
Live from Mountain View, it's Google Marketing Live. Google is giving us more data for PMAX, the Power Pair, and much more, and we're covering it all for you.
Neelay Patel talks AI overviews and then flips the script with Sundar Pichai AI.
All on today's show.
Welcome, you are listening to Marketing O'Clock. Just stay tuned. Digital marketing news, but let's get specific. Digital ads, SEO and analytics, social media and more. Pretty much everything that'll make your website perform. With new shows every Friday. We give you the news with sass and puns and definitely hot takes. Thank you for tuning in. You know what time it is. It's officially Marketing O'Clock. Settle in, sit back, keep it locked.
Hey there, I'm Christine Zernhout.
AKA Shep.
I'm Jess Budd.
And I'm Greg Finn.
And it is officially Marketing O'Clock.
Here on May 24th, 2024.
And before we get into all the digital marketing news of the week, what's happening with y'all?
Well, for me in my house, we are a couple weeks out from Mother's Day now, but it's just become like a way of life, much to my husband's chagrin.
Wow.
Every day's Mother's
It's
Day.
Mother's Month.
Anytime I have a 3.5-year-old and she, that day he was like training her, like say Happy Mother's Day to Mommy. So she was doing it. And now it's been like weeks and she'll just look at me and she'll be like, I love you. Like in some tender moment, I'm like, oh, I love you too. And she's like, Happy Mother's Day.
Aww.
Every time I'm like, Happy Mother's Day to you. But it's starting to get a little interesting. So last night, in response to the Happy Mother's Day, she asked for a Happy Kids Day back.
Ooh.
She's got a great point.
It's like, every day is kind of Kids Day.
That's what I told my kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, all we do is try to make you happy.
Yeah.
Like that's every day.
Yeah. I remember being a child and my mom saying that to me. Every day is Kids Day. Like that is,
You have
it is
no
a universal
no
truth.
clue.
Yeah.
You have no clue how hard it is.
Then she was singing this song on Mother's Day that was so sweet. And it was like, Happy Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Day. I love my mommy. Yes, I do.
Aww.
And I was like, oh, that is so beautiful. And she's kind of a musical genius. So I was like,
Sounds like it.
that is so beautiful. She goes, I wrote it for you. I'm like, thank you so much. So imagine my surprise Monday after Mother's Day scrolling Facebook to see all the moms. Somebody recorded their little toddler singing them that song at school.
It's out there.
So she must have learned it at school.
How deceptive.
Well, she does it all the time. She'll like pull out a shirt from my drawer and be like, do you like this? I bought it for you.
You should know better than that.
Thank you so much. And I never correct her, so.
Aw, her intentions are very pure. Although June is coming.
Yeah, I'm not
Dad's
ready.
gonna take over. Yeah.
It's about to turn around real fast. Big week for the news, right, Greg?
Yes, it was Marketers Day on Tuesday because Google had their Google Marketing Live flagship event. First started in 2013. And this was pretty hyped up. We'll run through. You guys just jump in wherever you want. I'll kind of recap everything and you can jump in.
Okay.
But at first, Philipp Schindler came out and there was some commentary that he sounded like one of Beavis or Butthead at our office.
Poor Philip.
That was just a commentary. I'm
not
just
nice.
stating it out. I thought he was fine. He just laughed at his own jokes.
He laughed at a lot of his own.
You did say
can't
that his
laugh
laugh
at
was
your own
creepy.
jokes.
Yeah.
But they were like, huh, with laughs too.
Did you unplug your computer, ma'am? Try setting it on fire.
Some of us, that's the
I
only
do
person
it.
that laughs at our jokes is ourselves.
Well, speak for yourself. And he talked about the new era of AI. To me, this whole thing that he talked about it just came off as a giant sales pitch on how Google was so great at AI. And it's funny because like we just saw OpenAI and ChatGPT 4.0 and I've used Bard and Gemini and it's very good at some things like writing and it's terrible at other things like image creation. We just saw last week somebody's looking for a family sitting around on a couch in a cozy apartment watching satellite TV, and it created 2 pumpkins and an apple. Like, we know what this, you don't need to sell me on, like, how about you sell me by doing
Making it
good
better.
AI? And it just was like everything was the future. They had all their different mechanisms on why their AI is the best. I didn't care at all about any of it. It's like, until you're better than anything, you're not better than Midjourney, you're not better than OpenAI. Stop telling me what to think about this. I just felt like for the entire time Philip was up there, I felt like I was being sold a timeshare.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like.
But he had to sell you on it because everything else that followed is all based in that. So
I know,
if he
but-
didn't at least try.
I don't know. And then
And there was awareness. Like Ginny tweeted, AI will be a major theme of the day. Like, yes, we know it's coming. Or somebody mentioned, like, drink if we say AI.
I
again.
know, they all
They
made that
know
joke.
we're saying it.
Yeah.
So just stop. Make it better.
So then they went on to use Astra or whatever, the Gemini visual tool thing. I can't keep up with their names. They have the word. AI Overviews just launched at Google I/O, their biggest event, in 2 weeks before. It's called AI Answers. And then it was SGE this whole time.
Yeah.
Their naming stinks. Whatever the thing is where you hold the phone up and it tells you what's going on, I don't know what to call that. But they pulled that up and it was so dumb. They're like, here's a picture of a palm tree. And it looked like, no offense, a 3.5-year-old drew it. And it's like, oh, what do you think this is about, little phone thing? And the phone's like, it's probably about travel. And it's like, okay, cool. And then like, where's Performance Max? And it's like, it was just so stupid. And to put this up after seeing the Scarlett Johansson-esque her of OpenAI, which we're going to get to in the
Yeah.
organic section, it was just super lame. And they're like, where's Performance Max? And they go over to a computer and like, oh, what is on the screen? You didn't sell me on you being good at AI. You can sell me on being good at AI by being good at AI. If you use the Create AI campaign in any of your accounts, it does a terrible job. Everything about it is not great yet. Some things are good, some things are helpful, but it is not great, and it's not what you're telling me it is.
And they can't even do a good job when it's those pre-recorded segments. So that's what's even worse.
So I
Every time one of those came up, I left the room. Jessica attested. I like went to refill my water, went to the bathroom.
Yep.
So
Answering Slack messages.
It talked about the fact that 15% of searches are new on Google every day. It's been steady for more than a decade. And the perfect search engine should understand exactly what you mean and give you back exactly what you need. So it's interesting phrasing, I thought. Should understand exactly what you mean and give you back exactly what you need. Not say connect you, right? For a long time, it was about helping to make the web's content accessible, right? Now it's saying give you back exactly. That was one thing I took away.
Really good point.
And then they talked about AI overviews. People who use AI overviews search more. Apparently, they're higher quality clicks and they spend more time on the site.
It's been like a minute.
And it's all like Google Power users who wanted to do the SGE test, right? Like
They don't give any information, so we can't tell. Barry has pushed for information. Barry Schwartz over Search Engine Roundtable has not gotten any. We're going to talk about an interview with Nilay Patel after this. He tried to get information. Nobody has information, but apparently they're higher quality clicks that spend more time on site. There are also the exactly what I want searches, which have 5 or more words. It grew 1.5 times as fast as other queries. And instead of men's running shoes, it's how to pick the right running shoes for a runner beginner with high arches, as an example. There's a trend number 2, which is complex search made easy, where you could say, what's a good option for Dallas with kids near ice cream? And then number 3 is search beyond words for their trends that they had, where you use lens. Apparently 12 billion lens searches are done a month, and 1 out of 4 has commercial intent. And then lastly, people are looking in these trends that he was covering, people are looking beyond answers. They're looking to explore. Like they want outfit ideas or best places to eat with kids. I would say their answers to that question at least. And then rainy day activities. And then he also tried to like sell how AI can be a playground for YouTube creators. He just didn't say much.
No.
He's like coming out there trying to sell you on AI.
Yep.
So then the head of ads, Vidhya, came out. She was the one that had championed GA4. And she talked about family and how an ad drove her to love the business and that generative AI will unlock opportunity. She said that 2 out of 3 customers say making a purchase requires more effort than ever. And Google was really a matchmaker. That's their job. And I made a joke about AI overviews on this because it's like 2 out of 3 consumers say making purchase decisions require more effort. They're probably using AI overviews because trying to figure out where the information comes from is a hard task. She also went on to say AI will be involved in every process of ads. So she had a statement where it was like, you can launch a campaign in hours instead of weeks. And if you have something launched in the morning, it might be optimizing by lunch.
I thought that was very optimistic.
I'm like, what? Have you ever seen PMAX? Have you ever been in a learning phase? Everything you're saying doesn't match reality. PMAX can barely just keep anything like same at all.
I don't even know what she meant by that. Like,
I don't think she knew what she meant by that.
You can launch a PMAX campaign. It doesn't even have impressions by lunch. Like, what does isn't it optimizing the whole time it's running? Like,
in theory. Yeah.
And then she really did a great job of not selling AI as a solution, but as a helper. And she made AI seem super dumb. She's like, AI is not a marketer. And it was just like, here, it's what AI cannot do. And it went on to go, AI doesn't have taste. It doesn't have ingenuity. It doesn't have creativity or strategic insights.
I just feel like
they
Like,
want
what
us
is
to
going
use
on?
AI strategic insights.
Yes.
But they're putting AI in the recommendations tab.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have
But it
strategic
doesn't have
insights.
taste. It doesn't have taste. She was very much saying all the things that she
They
thought we wanted to hear.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
We just want to hear the truth from you, Google. That's all that we ever have cared about.
Yep. She was the only one that said that humans mattered at all, though, so I'll take that. But we know she's not
It's
lying,
just so
but
lip
pandering.
service.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're there 30 minutes in. My head is spinning. AI is so good. Google's the best at AI, and that AI isn't as great, and we might not be great at AI. And then my head is spinning, but we got to our first announcement 30 minutes into this. And that was like telling for GML. And for the record, this might have been my favorite GML ever. There's like nothing. Nothing got ruined.
Yeah.
I didn't have any
that's
issues
fair,
with
yeah.
anything. Like my
nothing
life is
was
going to be
really-
the same for the next year,
Yeah.
which is all I look for in
Yeah.
GML.
That is really sad.
It is, but
that
it's like,
that's what
you
made
didn't-
it good.
You didn't blow up Google Ads. That's what I said on It's New. It's like, I will take that. That's a W for me. So there talked about ads and AI overviews, and that they are still focused on sending valuable traffic to publishers and creative, and they will be testing search and shopping ads being integrated into AI overviews, not just above or below. And I actually like the example they have up here, where it still looks really similar to the previous implementation, but there's a little bit more fluid of a transition there, where the example was how to get wrinkles out of clothes without an iron or something. And so instead of just having products there, it says products to unwrinkle your clothes, relax fibers, and smooth away wrinkles with these products. And then you can see the listing. So that's the major difference, is there's like a mini transition, it seems like. But in her demonstration, I was shocked not to see an RSA or a search ad show up, because you have to be a retailer to do shopping. You can't be in there any other way. And I was floored that they didn't go and show like their flagship way they built the company, how it's going to exist in this new world. They didn't talk about search ads. They just had the shopping ad that is like a minor tweak from what we had before. Mm-hmm. Okay, and stay tuned, because again, I think I found it. And after that was her announcement, is that there's a little AI transition between the shopping ads. And then Sylvanus got up. He was my favorite person of the day. Absolutely loved him. Stole the show.
Nice. Well, you said the mean thing about his shirt.
Oh, he
You
didn't
were
tuck his shirt
coming
in.
for people's like selves at this GML more than usual.
Wait, this was not the shoe guy?
no, this is
No,
Sylvanus.
the shoe guy.
Sylvanus is.
Got it.
Don't ruin it.
Sorry.
Don't you dare.
Everyone's already listened. They're just looking for your takes. Okay.
So he talked about ads and visual search. He showed you could take a picture of a red luggage bag, and then you would see that in ads as well. So the ads is the big deal there. I don't love this as an advertiser. If somebody takes a picture of something and it accidentally does a lens or something, I might work, might not. But the problem is we're not going to be able to tell. Like, they're not going to give us that information. Be like, this was a lens search, you know, and like we probably won't be able to opt out of it. It's going to be, how do we get more queries? What were your thoughts on that?
It's not going to apply to any of my clients. Nothing's ever for B2B. And that's how I felt about everything. So,
Yeah, what are you going to take a picture of somebody's computer? They're using some cool
yeah.
software.
I think that's
need
cooler.
that.
Like, as a user, I think it's cool. But as an advertiser, again, we're not going to get the data. I don't.
Yeah,
We'll see.
and that's the problem. It is, if we could see it, it could be really cool. Next up was probably my least favorite announcement at GML, the dynamic ad experience. And in this, somebody searched for short-term storage. on their mobile phone. They saw a company called Extra Space Storage, and you can click on something that says Find Solutions from Extra Space Storage. And what you go into here is what appears to be a Google hosted page with very little branding. And it says, find the best storage, let AI do the heavy lifting, and you can upload up to 5 photos. That is your call to action. And I do not see anywhere on here where you can go to a website.
I thought this was a captcha. Sorry, first of all.
Isn't that exciting?
But so you can upload up to
Yeah.
5 photos, and I don't see a way you can get to the site.
Who would want
Eventually
this?
you can.
So I'll tell you the person who wants it. What they have to do is they have to have pictures of all the information in the room. I'm assuming they have to figure out how to say, if you go from different angles, which room is which room. You have to put all of the room information up. Conveniently, this person here had 5 pictures in their gallery of everything. But if
Nobody's
you're not,
gonna have that.
but if you're like at work and it's like upload the 5 pictures, I'm like gone,
Yeah.
gone. I don't have 5
Too much
pictures.
work.
Yeah.
Too much work.
Or who's packing up their whole house because you're like moving and I don't know.
it's
It's
a
like
weird
you can-
example, but it's like the only example that even makes sense.
But
It's
you
one of
also
those-
just call somebody.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
totally.
Anyway, then once you upload your entire inventory, it goes to Google. It
Not to
doesn't
mention, I would think I was gonna get robbed. Low key.
100%.
Yeah, this definitely does not feel legit.
So then you upload that information to Google. I do not know if Google is passing this information to Extra Space Storage. At this point, it doesn't seem like you've entered your information and yet just your photos. And then Google goes through and generates a description of, quote, all of your belongings,
Yeah.
Ew.
Great.
unquote. And so it'll say, here are all the things in your photos. And then you can hit continue. And it will give you different size good fits and say you might need a 10 by 20 large storage unit. It'll show some price information. And the CTA sucks on this. You have to go to the bottom of the site and hit the left button to visit the site. So all of this happens off of Extra Space Storage.
Yeah.
You have no control of the branding. You have no control of the information. You do all this and then you hit visit site. I hate this.
You've put in a
With
lot
passion.
of work for nothing.
Here's something you could do, Extra Space Storage. Invest in AI, build this into your landing page, keep all your branding, get an email address in the process, and not give it out to a third party. Why wouldn't you do that?
And as a user, I want to see someone's website and make sure it looks legit before I take pictures of my house.
right, all
Yeah,
you
because
have
the
is a
user
little
doesn't
icon.
know that that's not going. Yeah, like this is all us talking. But
And then they do the thing later in the show about why does Pepsi have people scan QR codes because they want user information. I feel like Google just wants
This
to know
fits
what
what
the
this
inside
is.
of our houses look like and what our tax bracket is. That's what I think.
100%, they're collecting data. They're building audiences.
Oh, just wait. All right, so then Sylvanus had a video that he loved, he said. And it was full of a bunch of lens stuff, some shopping ads. But I think I saw a text ad in there. And this was within AI overviews. And it was a query for vacuum cleaners to clean your pool or something of that nature. And in the sponsored, it says, vacuum cleaners to clean your pool. Vacuuming can be helpful after chlorination to remove dead algae that settled at the bottom. And then there's a picture of the Apier WavePath navigation technology, best summer deals. And that to me looks like a text ad with image extensions or image assets or ad formats or whatever the heck you want to call them.
Yeah.
Would you say that?
It could,
Maybe.
It also looks like crap.
Yeah.
It's like quality assurance dash Apier Seagull Pro ... I can't believe they used that. Also, isn't that like a spelling error? LG is plural.
That's what you're worried about?
I'm worried about everything here. Okay? Have you met me, Jess?
Yes, I have.
But because this would suck without an image.
Not just the vacuum.
Yeah, great point. I mean, this is why they're pushing this so much. This is why they're pushing ad strength, I think.
Yeah.
It's not conversion data. They're trying to get these different ad formats in, which are
Yeah.
images, because they are going to need it for this to work. Right? If this is actually what they're going to launch with, you are toast without images.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't be surprised if could they only open it up to PMAX?
What is it going to look like for search, though?
But like a PMAX search ad, you know?
Where are your search ads going to go if it's an AI overview? Underneath?
Yeah, I guess.
What's the image going to be? I think this was like the most telling point. Is this image here, it doesn't work without an image asset or freaking ad format or whatever they want to call them. Okay, then they rehash the conversational experience where you can have AI set up a campaign to tank your business, and they highlighted ad strength again. And then we got to my favorite part of the show, folks, the power pair.
The power pair.
He came out so
He was
strong.
so excited.
So bold.
It brought me so much joy.
I was so happy when he talked about the power pair. He's like, the power pair.
The power pair.
It was incredible.
Did I make it up, or was there like a sound effect, like
No.
power pair? Dun, dun, dun.
He did
I was
such a
too
good
busy
job
watching
at
you
it.
smile.
Oh my gosh. I was hooked.
Yeah.
I will follow Sylvanus anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm contemplating a power pair tattoo.
Yes.
And then he's like, and then he could tell people love the power pair. Everybody loved the power pair. And he's like, it just rolls right off the tongue. Try it. And he got the audience to say power pair with him.
Power pair. Okay, some of y'all did it. I'm actually impressed.
And they were not participating really with
Yeah.
anyone.
And it turns out the most impressive part of the power pair is just how fun it is to say.
The power pair. Just being a lot of fun to say.
Because the power pair is search and PMAX.
Yeah.
That's the power pair.
Power pair.
I thought it was gonna be something. He's like, no, it's search and PMAX. I'm like, isn't this like a new announcement? Like, no, you just took something, you put a little logo around it, and you said power pair really like dynamically.
The power pair.
It's just search and PMAX.
Well, it's like you said, your
was it
life's
something
not
I
going to
missed?
change. No, it's good.
No, it's a rebrand.
Good. Yeah.
The power pair. I love it.
It is a power pair.
And I spell it
use it.
PEAR. That's what I spell it.
Oh, but that doesn't make any sense.
Sounds
That's it.
delicious.
I just like the thought of that power pair.
Okay, I can tell you're making a shirt in your head.
Oh, it's a superhero, but it's like kind of like more belly focused because it's pear.
He's a bear.
That's still really powerful. 100%. How could I not? so anyway, we have power pair. So like, again, this is a big win for me for GML. He talked about profit optimization. This was announced before, but he said it looks at your profit instead of just revenue in case you don't have like margin included in any custom label. And he said there's a 15% uplift in product gross revenue, I believe. I also talked about loyalty promotions. I know there was some loyalty stuff. I didn't think that was new, but maybe the promotion is new and the loyalty was added to the feed. But either way, not a ton there. Just power pair. Revolutionary.
So good.
The power pair. Next up was Tim Frank, and who looked like Brian Callen, and he was talking about asset generation for the most part. And he led off with the fact that said advertisers who improve their PMAX ad strength to excellent see 6% more conversions on average. Whenever they pull those stats up, they always say at a
what
similar
cost?
or lower cost.
Yeah.
You didn't talk about cost. Good. You move your ad strength up. It doesn't consider conversions at all. You probably paid 600x more, and you got 6% more conversions.
Well,
And now you're out of business. But you have good ad strength. Okay, and they talked about creative controls and customization, brand colors. That's already a thing. Like, again, these aren't new. Brand fonts, and you can have only closely matched.
the font is cool.
Yeah, that's cool. And then my favorite thing was, well, actually, this wasn't my favorite thing. The next one is you can upload reference images for AI to generate ads based on. And that's probably why they came out with those banner placements earlier in this year. Because if you had a banner you liked, AI can now kind of replicate that. So that all started to click to me. And my favorite thing was this next one, where you can take any product from image editor, create new backgrounds, erase objects, add things like an oil painting above a couch, and extend backgrounds. So that's a huge problem. We have designers that go and work and try to make lifestyle photos, and it's a lot of work. If you could do it well, I don't know how Gemini is going to do it well because they can't make images yet. All these things, there's no way if you had that tool, you could do what he did. I promise you that.
Yeah.
There is no way. Again, we're making pumpkins and apples out of a family watching DirecTV.
I like it in theory.
Yeah.
But it would be
Very.
great when it happens. I'm sure they'll make it happen at some point. It is not now. One thing he said was he was continuing about PMAX. This was my second favorite of the moment behind the power pair. He said, that's why we're launching additional reporting and controls in PMAX. And he had to stop because it wasn't an applause break and the audience like erupted.
We already
Yeah.
They erupted. He had to stop. Like the data guy, I forget. He
wants you to call him the data guy. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, he had an applause break. Nobody applauded. This was not an applause break, and everybody like erupted, and they just can't read the room whatsoever. And then there will be placement reporting and exclusions for YouTube and asset level reporting. The asset level reporting looks pretty cool, I guess. At least you can see. The thing is, the performance rating is so unhelpful.
That's a good, better, best.
It's best, good, low, learning, unrated, but you can see conversions at least. Like at least we can see a conversion.
Yeah.
So if we can see conversions at asset level, that's huge because you can just throw the other stuff out and like how many conversions did I get? But you also don't see things like impressions and clicks, and it's going to be so hard. You could just make it easy on people.
Yeah.
Like you have all this AI data and all this stuff, and you're talking about how data is so important, and then your flagship product has no data. And then the other thing I thought he said that was funny is he said, it's hard to trust what you can't fully verify. It's like, brother, have you ever used a PMAX campaign? Have you ever done that? All right. Then we got on to Nikki, and she talked about demand gen, 3 billion monthly users. And the big news there was the lookalike audiences don't need to be 1,000. They can now be 100.
I like that.
Yep. There are also animated image ads. It looks like it could be cool, but the thing is in rough shape. It was not pretty. It was like a regular photo on like a background that sort of moved a little bit. I bet it'll be cool in like 2 years though. So, and then the affiliate program for YouTube is going out to any Shopify Plus or Shopify Advanced user. I think that's really cool. You can just go ahead and opt in, and then creators can start to show your product and you can get revenue, or they can get revenue by selling your product. So I love that. Then Matt came up. He was probably the least charismatic person out of there, but I think he thought he was the most. He was the one with the jacket with that fake thing. Like, oh, I took a picture of Matt behind the scenes. What do you think of the jacket? And Astra was like, it's a good jacket. And then he comes out, he's like, how's my jacket? How are my shoes?
Oh, yeah, the shoe
He's
thing.
the shoe guy. Yeah. His shoes were fine, by the way.
No, they weren't great. You're a shoe guy and you're wearing those like Sambas? No, sorry.
But fine means like, eh.
Anyway, he was talking about bringing products to life, and I thought one thing was really cool where you can have transparent product shot, and then you can generate a scene to make better images, and you can make it like this, and then like it'll put a wave behind it or something like that. And he said in seconds you can make a video out of an image. I don't think that's true today, but if it's so, that's cool. And then my favorite part of this overall was that there will be something called brand profiles coming out. And apparently 40% of searches feature a brand or product name. And these brand profiles that they showed for Elf Cosmetics, it looks like you can use it for humans as well, shows images, sales, products, return, delivery information, then a giant About Us section on the side. And I was flabbergasted. This isn't an ad. Mm-hmm. This is free.
It's cool.
They're going to lose so much money on ad space from this. Like, you are going to have to spend so much less money on your brand if this rolls out in the exact way they're showing it right now. I cannot believe this.
Yeah. Couldn't that first result under it be an Elf ad, like a branded ad?
Probably, but
Could be,
you
but-
are going to have that top, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a wild thing. Apparently, it's rolling out in coming months. We'll see if we have it by August. I doubt we will. And they will be apparently for retailers because you need a feed. Mm-hmm. We were talking about this with some of our clients now. And we're like, this would be so nice. We could have a brand profile when this comes out. And we're like, oh, it's not for retailers. Here's my next level galaxy brain thought. Let's say you're a company, let's say Marketing Clockwork Podcast. Why wouldn't you go ahead, set up a Merchant Center feed,
To sell your Power Pair t-shirts?
sell a few shirts? Now you're eligible for the brand profile.
Yeah.
If I were like a corporate thing and I'm like, oh, I'm Salesforce, guess what? I have a Salesforce sticker. You can buy it for $5. Now I'm a retailer.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now they're going to shut that down because they listen to the show. And additionally, they're going to start highlighting key attributes from product descriptions or reviews. I think this is fine if it's just your Google Shopping, but if it's ads and I'm paying for it and you're going to be highlighting things from reviews, is there a way I can turn this off? Because I want to pay for what I know I'm paying, like what I'm doing right by my client. Mm-hmm. I don't like that, but if it's non-paid stuff, I'm fine. They've got a 3D spin for that guy's stupid sneakers, and you can spin them around and it looks fine. And then there's going to be immersive ad experience for virtual try-on and video highlights. Apparel and beauty is coming first. And you can also add videos and products to shopping ads. And I don't get that one.
Videos and shopping ads?
Yeah. When you click on it, you go to like a video and then all the ads for the brand is there. Like, when do you pay for it? Do you pay for the click to open the video, or do you pay for a click to the product? I just kind of want to get people to my site and I can have the video there. I don't need the video in the search. Like, if I have a good video, I can put it on my site.
Whatever's going to make Google more money.
So I'd imagine if you click on it and you see the lifestyle video and you see the line of products on Google, you probably pay for that.
For sure.
But nobody wants that. If you want to have a video, you could put a video on your site. Am I wrong?
You're not.
Okay, then Gaurav came up. He called himself the data guy, and he is the guy from the company that brought you GA4. And he said you can collect, protect, and use your data. It's like, okay. Google Ads Data Manager is now, or Google Data Manager is available to everyone. And
Or will be, right?
It will be.
Yeah.
No, I think he said now, but I think it will be, whatever. And you can have an active pipeline from your data sources to Google Ads. And he said there's also measurement diagnostics that are going to be introduced, and it's like a check engine light for your site. But like we've seen what OptiScore is, that's supposed to be recommendations. It's supposed to be the health of your account. If you have 100% optimization score, your check business light is on because you're probably out of it. And then they said Google's goal for us is not have to worry about first-party data. Just let Google worry about it all. And then there's going to be measurement with generated insights and reports, and you can generate a report with a prompt, but they weren't totally confident in how that data is going to come out, which great. And then he said Meridian, Google's open source marketing mix model, will be available later this year for everybody, it seems like. So that's where we're at. That was the entirety of the show. And then one other thing I didn't catch, I think it was after PPC Kirk at PPC Kirk on Twitter. They said that broad match keywords use AI to match those image-based no keyword searches Google discussed earlier. So he was there at GML. We didn't make it this time around, but some news from the trenches. And apparently Shaq was there too.
Shaq?
Shaquille O'Neal.
What?
I have regrets.
Do you? You could have gone.
He's like up there on my list of celebs to meet.
I think marketer hugged Shaq.
What? What was he doing there?
Just selling.
He's omnipresent.
Shaq'd in a fool.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you, any other thoughts? Anything I missed, guys?
Well, we really liked when Sylvanus said, I don't remember what feature he was talking about, but he was like, and that is cool.
That was, I think it was some of those videos. He loved that.
We
video.
love that.
Yeah.
We've actually talked to him on a video call. And he's super nice.
He's a nice guy. I wish there was some lead gen stuff. It's all about
overall,
shopping.
Like, if you talk to me on Monday and said, here's what you get from Google Marketing Live, I would sprint and sign that paper.
Do they announce that they're going to take things away some years?
Well, it's usually like change. Like we have
But they'll like
performance-
spin it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we don't need keywords anymore. People search via lens. Yeah, like I could see
Yeah.
that coming. Like, everything's gonna match with AI, and it's like, no, that would be my like worst nightmare.
Yeah.
For this, like, I will take this.
Yeah. Couple good things.
Yeah. It was too long.
Me?
No, the event. They
I was too
definitely could have.
They should just have
You're
you go
covering
up
it.
and read. I'm sure that would be great.
There was a interview with Sundar Pichai over the CEO of Google, and it was from The Verge and Decoder, and it was Nilay Patel who had the interview. I thought it was a great.
Yes, I was just
interview.
going to say, speaking of, that's like why I couldn't go to GML, because I feel like it's hard to be like nice to someone's face, but then like you don't like what they're talking about. He did such a great job of like towing the line of like being honest but not combative. Like I was just so impressed.
I know. I want to flip a table. and
Yeah.
be like I don't know. Yeah, he did a fantastic job. I thought Sundar Pichai looked like a complete slime ball in this video. He has such a calm demeanor, but you can just tell what he says isn't true. Like one thing that he said is that they're prioritizing approaches that would send more traffic. And I'm going to quote this. He said, Google is, quote, prioritizing approaches that would send more traffic, quote, to publishers. That is nothing
feel that?
Yeah.
we've ever seen.
Where's the evidence?
You look at it, Google's taking over travel. You look at this, there's now feature snippets that take over everything and give answers. You look at AI overviews. They might be considering it, but they are not prioritizing those approaches to get the traffic to publishers. They are not. And I think on It's New, I said, if you could go to jail for lying, he'd be locked up. I probably should not say things like that, but whatever. Like, they're not prioritizing traffic. You're taking the exact example, and then your citations don't match up. You can't say things that aren't true. I mean, you can, because the world, you can just be a giant scumbag, as we'll see later with OpenAI, and you're just the best, whatever. And he also said that he remains optimistic and thinks users are looking for high quality content. We talked about it, and It's New if you want more on that. I think that was Tuesday. And Barry had a good correction to something that Sundar had said, that when he talked about more clicks are happening in the AI overviews, that it looked like he had tried to compare it to the listings below the AI overviews, not like the traditional way it was without AI overviews. And as Nilay had pressed against, he said, well, can you show us the data? And there's just no data. They're probably not going to give the data. If the data actually showed that there were more clicks, they would hand it over as fast as you could get it.
Yeah.
Again, we talked about last week, they gave this whole presentation slide about 1 day of data in February of 2023 on Leap Day. And they made an entire slide about it because 1 day matched this. Another thing is, Nilay went on to talk about zero click. I think he called it Google Zero. And Sundar didn't say much. He kind of just has his way of dancing around stuff. And it's like, well, everybody thought the web was dead with mobile, and everybody thought that was the web was dead with feature snippets, and I don't know, all this. And then there was like some commentary about that Hello Home Fresh and Dodo Mojo or whatever gaming sites that fell off the face of the earth. That happened from like a core update response, and it was kind of a weird question because it wasn't AI overview related, but I don't know. There was an answer. Sundar gave a good example on that where he's like, well, I can't say it like case by case basis. You might be a restaurant and a newer restaurant opens near you and the old restaurant drops. So whatever. And then again, talked about the fact that people are clicking off the AI overviews to publishers, and said when we look at their user journeys, when you give the context, it also exposes people to jumping off points. And so they engage more. Again, I sound like a broken record at this point. I don't get the AI overviews in the current format because it's hard to find information. If your job is to make the web accessible, you put citations everywhere. It's very hard at the moment.
Clickable citations.
Shep,
What a wonderful idea.
if you had a gun to your head and you had to make AI overviews as helpful as possible, would you include a clickable citation
Yes.
for something that was pulled from a publisher? No.
Yes.
Everybody with a gun to the head would make that same decision.
You don't even need a gun. It's just the right choice.
Yeah.
Simple.
Okay.
Thanks, Jess.
There's a whole bunch more. Barry got called out. I don't know if you saw it in the video. Search Engine Roundtable, Barry Schwartz was right up on the screen. And they talked about it being, I think they said an SEO trade publication. I don't know. I'm like sick of this one. But the thing that was awesome is Nilay flipped the tables on Sundar and asked how he felt about OpenAI training their Sora model on YouTube without permission. And you could tell he's like pissed. And he's like, I wish they'd adhere to the terms and conditions. And, I have empathy for people that have the content stolen. It's like, you don't, because you're stealing all the content and there's no clickable links to anything. And
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So it was again, a great interview on that. Go watch it. It's worth the watch. And then Danny Goodwin on Search Engine Land and Barry Schwartz on Search Engine Roundtable had fantastic write-ups on it. And then Sundar said, through this AI moment, over time, there will be players who will do better by the content creators that support their platforms, and whoever does it better will emerge as the winner. I believe that to be a tenet of these things over time. And I think this is when he was talking about OpenAI using all their data. But like, apply that to yourself also.
Right.
It is so easy to make a better version like perplexity.ai where you can actually find information. And why don't you, Sundar, follow and adhere to that advice that you just gave? Why not?
I'm not Sundar.
And now for this week's
Cool tool.
As a reminder, our Cool Tool segment is not an official endorsement or paid mention. We're simply sharing something we found in our travels that may be of use to our listeners. And is really, really cool.
This week's Cool Tool lets you skip right to the web results as your default. Happy?
Not bad.
Thank you. It's
Better than last week.
I'm trying. And so is this, because it is called Bye Bye AI. It rhymes, and they did that, not me. It's a Chrome extension from Tom's Hardware. What does it do? It allows you to hide AI overviews and also some other things like forums, videos, whatever you want in the SERPs.
I've got a better name.
What's that?
Bye, 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 AI.
Well, I'm glad it's not called that because I don't like to sing.
You
on
can't
the show.
sing in the name.
Yeah, how would you?
That should be their
You can only hear
their
it.
jingle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They'll get Justin Timberlake or Greg Finn.
But I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, knowing that changes in Google could impact the effectiveness of this extension, by the way, the article also provides instructions if you want to just straight up configure your Chrome browser to send you directly to that new web tab that just completely gets rid of everything except the web results in Google, which is awesome if you're performing a search from the address bar. So there's no extensions or keyboard shortcuts required, just a one-time configuration and some instructions to do so. So if you're really feeling annoyed by that manual click over to the web results but don't want to see AI overviews, this one is for you. Again, that's
Bye, 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 AI.
Thank
That's
you.
much better than
Thank
me.
you, Greg. As always, we will have the link in our newsletter as well as on Discord. That's newsletter.and community.marketingclock.com respectively. So pick your poison and check it out.
Now it's time for this week's Take of the Week. This is a #fire digital marketing take with extra spice served up for you. We simply deliver the take for your consumption. We give no opinions. We don't influence. You make the call.
This week's Take of the Week is Wii U Takeoff. We've got the best takes from Google Marketing Live 2024. And Shep and Jess, you get to vote on the winner. Number 1 from John Kagan at John Kagan on Twitter. Google, quote, get excited. We're giving you the bare basics for PMAX, unquote.
It's funny.
Boris Beckerick at Boris Beckerick on X, quote, give us your margins so we can know exactly how much higher we can put CPCs.
Oh.
Julie Bacchini at Neptune Moon on Twitter. 40% of searches for products are brand. No wonder they don't want it dropped out of PMAX.
True.
And John Kagan making a second appearance here. When the biggest cheer or applause is for more info on an ad unit that has been around for 3 years, you know you've been doing something wrong. All right, who do you got? John, Boris, Julie, or John?
I'm going John.
I like
too.
John's second one. Yeah.
John, you are the winner with your tweet. When the biggest cheer or applause is for more information on an ad unit that has been around for 3 years, you know you've been doing something wrong.
I don't think this is his first GML takeoff win, by the way.
He's
Yeah.
great.
Now it's time for this week's Pew Pew Lightning Round. At this point in the show, we split up our content into 3 parts: paid, organic, and social.
First up in the paid universe this week from Julie Bacchini at Neptune Moon on X. She was asking Ginny Marvin, our ads liaison, about the aforementioned AI-generated image in a PMAX campaign of the pumpkins and the apple.
It was supposed to be a family.
It was supposed to be a
cozy
family,
setting.
yes. So Ginny responded first and said, it's not going to make people, that it stops it from doing that. So, and then she said a link to like the limitations of what that item can do. Also, if it can't make people, why not just give a notification that it can't make people instead of giving you fruit?
On a hard surface.
It's not a family.
Not a cozy setting.
That's your biggest hang up. So Julie is asking Ginny, it says no branded terms in the images in the document that Ginny linked. Does that mean that AI won't generate product images at all because all product images are branded? And Ginny says the tool will generate product images, but it won't generate product images with a brand name or logo on it. And her example of the company name was Doggo. Is that a real company? I thought that was just a dog people term. So it couldn't make the Doggo logo, but it will make a product image. So that's good.
I don't get how it's going to quickly create lifestyle images of generic products, how that's ever going to help you sell a product.
I don't either.
It doesn't. And then it's like, oh, it does everything, but it can't use a picture of a person. Like, can you not have a leg in a shoe? Like, where are we? Can you not have a torso on a shirt? Like,
Or we saw examples on GML of it making like cartoon people.
yes.
So why couldn't it just at least do, that's a better match than a pumpkin.
There were those similar images, though. It was like an above shot of a person, a human. It looked like it wasn't a cartoon at a table.
Yes.
It was
a human.
manipulating
It was
that.
an absolute human.
It was using
looking
that,
down
yeah.
on a desk, a darker desk.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can't do it in real life, but you can in GML.
So just give
Great
us a warning
point.
when it can't do something instead of giving me a random picture.
Preaching to
Agree.
the choir shop.
Next up from Anthony Higman,
Higman.
on X, he said AI summaries are now in ads accounts. So he has a screenshot of Google Ads. He's on the overview page, and it has a performance summary generated by AI in the date range that he has selected. And it seems really pointless. The example here is your performance summary for May 9th through May 15th. The total number of clicks across 46 campaigns decreased by 25. And then there were like more details, but who cares?
I didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
That's basic math.
But it's there for you if you want it.
joy.
Next up from Kara Reinhart for LinkedIn News, OpenAI has a new deal for Reddit content. So this says OpenAI will become an advertising partner for social media platform and power AI features for users and moderators. The news sent Reddit shares up double digits Friday. Reddit reached a similar deal with Google earlier this year and has been riding high since the initial public offering in March. So we'll probably see more from Scarlett Johansson and OpenAI on that soon. There was also an update to the Google Ads editorial policy, which Greg put in the notes. Did you read it?
No.
Okay, it says the editorial policy has been updated and reorganized for improved clarity and readability. The update was made solely to provide clearer information to advertisers, and no changes are enforced.
Oh, why'd you even include it then?
I just felt, I don't know. I didn't know if you did it on purpose.
No.
Next up, YouTube. Some of these announcements are from Google Marketing Live, but they have some announcements this week. So first of all, WNBA Friday night games will be televised in their local markets. So that's cool for like Caitlin Clark and all our homies. Can't wait to watch. Creator takeovers via YouTube Select are expanding to more creators, so brands will be able to collaborate with top YouTube creators to own 100% share of voice on their channel, and that's rolling out to more creators. There are also non-skippables ads for video reach campaigns. These are powered by AI and branded QR codes. I think that's what I saw on GML, and they look cool. It's like the QR code with your brand logo in the middle. X gives business a direct connection with its customers. We've officially launched a new partnership with Teleperformance in Europe to improve service and support for small and medium-sized business advertisers. We love
Great.
Teleperformance here. And then, is this a rep in this image? He's flexing his muscles.
I don't know.
They
Looks
have,
like a boxer.
they have these random... Yesterday, we launched our partnership with Teleperformance in Europe. This will bring us increased level of support. So this must just be one of the Teleperformance guys.
That's the support.
I
Oh, is
mean,
that
can really
Gregory
hold you
Owens?
up.
he could bench me. I don't know if he can support me. He's really flexing in this image. So Teleperformance is coming, everybody.
Hooray.
Awesome.
What's happening in organic?
All right, first up in organic this week. I saw this earlier and I was like, oh, I could kind of see that. And apparently, OpenAI is pausing the use of the popular Sky voice that we talked about last week over some concerns that it sounded too much like the Her actress Scarlett Johansson. And I was like, I didn't really think about that. But then Sam Altman tweeted out Her right afterwards. And I'm like, I could see maybe how it could sound similar. Mm-hmm. I also might pause it because it was just so flirty. But the company said that the voices in ChatGPT were from paid voice actors. A final 5 were selected from an initial pool of 400, and that it was purely a coincidence that the unnamed actress behind the Sky voice had a similar tone to Johansson. I was like, okay, I didn't hear it first time around.
I didn't either, but then I watched the preview for the movie because I've never seen the movie, and it sounds like her in the movie. Yeah. Like she doesn't talk as low as she normally does in the movie.
So then flash forward. Scarlett Johansson has just issued this statement on OpenAI. I have confirmed its authenticity directly with their publicist. Quote, last September, I received an offer from Sam Altman who wanted to hire me to voice the current ChatGPT 4.0 system. He told me that he felt that by my voicing the system, I could bridge the gap between tech companies and creatives and help consumers to feel comfortable with the seismic shift concerning humans and AI. He said that he felt that my voice would be comforting to people.
Oh my God.
After much consideration and for personal reasons, declined the offer. 9 months later, my friends, family, and the general public all noted how much the newest system named Sky sounded like me. When I heard the release demo, I was shocked, angered, and in disbelief that Mr. Altman would pursue a voice that sounded so eerily similar to mine that my closest friends and news outlets could not tell the difference. Mr. Altman even insinuated that the similarity was intentional, tweeting a single word, her,
So weird.
a reference to the film in which I voice a chat system Samantha, who forms an intimate relationship with a human. 2 days before ChatGPT 4.0 demo was released, Mr. Altman contacted my agent asking me to reconsider. Before we could connect, the system was out there. As a result of their actions, she's hiring legal counsel. They're stopping the Sky voice and all that. And goes on to say, in a time when we're all grappling with deepfakes and the protection of our own likeliness and our own work and our own identities, I believe these are the questions that deserve absolute clarity. I look forward to the resolution in the form of transparency and the passage of appropriate legislation to help ensure that individual rights are protected.
Yeah, it's going to be a big deal for like actors and stuff. That was what the whole SAG battle was about, was like AI impersonating people. And it's just very creepy that this man like doesn't even care enough to tweet her. I'm scared of him now. Like, the world is going to be run by robots in 2 years, and it'll all be about Sam. Like, I'm scared of him.
So when it first came out and I didn't hear her statement, I was like, maybe it was a mistake.
Why would he say her? Like, he does not care. And the fact that it is so flirty, like, he's a weirdo.
For sure.
And
an idiot. 2 days for a deal like that?
He reached out to get it. He couldn't get her to do it. Figured out a way to clone it. And then 2 days before release, realized this is a terrible invasion of privacy. This is who's running AI?
Yes.
How is that possible?
He has no moral compass. I'm terrified for the future of the world. Like, I was in denial until this happened.
I cannot believe this is the face of somebody in charge of humanity.
Oh, don't put it that way.
And this is all the stuff that went down with the company earlier this year. Now I'm like, what? Like, what happened? I want more details. Like,
this is how I'm disgusted. And everybody's just a scumbag. It's like I said, you just be a scumbag.
You've been saying
scumbag
that for weeks. It's like your
scumbag
theme.
your way through life.
to tweet the word her.
Like, you're not
After
funny.
you already
Bragging. You are
funny.
bragging. You are proud to be a
And
scumbag.
she turned you down.
Ew, yeah.
She turned you down.
He has pictures of her on his wall. Like,
You went along with it anyway and did it and then realized, hey, 2 days before, I'm going to go back and I'm going to try to rehash it. She doesn't get back to you and do her. He should be in jail. You should be in lifetime jail. This is more than pre-murder.
More on that later.
so creepy. I can't get over it. I'm trying not to think about it too much because I'm like scared for my safety.
This is the future of he
Yeah.
is the leader in technology and the future of where we're going.
Yep.
And this is what he does. Buddy, you should have asked your ChatGPT if this is okay.
Yep.
It'll be like, absolutely not. Disgusting. Like how you have to step down now.
Yeah.
You already did it once. You can't do this. You cannot do this.
Do you think you will?
No.
Okay.
If you're that much of a narcissist, you never think
Yeah.
you're wrong about anything. Everything's always somebody else's problem.
I'm so upset about this.
You can never be wrong. No, it's just she didn't agree, and it's just a coincidence. And I just mistyped. Whatever. Okay, Google is testing a special snippet treatment for Reddit search results. You can see things like upvotes and comments that follow a specific thread. The example that was over on Search Engine Land for Barry Schwartz said pre-workout versus coffee versus something else. There's only one answer, and it's pre-workout, and you need to have beta-alanine. Why even going to Reddit? Talk to me. Also, how are Googlers thinking about AI? Scott Jensen over on LinkedIn had posted, I just left Google last month. These AI projects I was working on were poorly motivated and driven by panic. That as long as it had AI in it, it would be great. The myopia is not something driven by a user need. It's stone cold panic that they are getting left behind. There's a whole bunch more information there, but it seemed like he was not happy with the way. He also said he wasn't a senior management official, so take it with a grain of salt. And then on another absolutely, we are living in a simulation type story. Jason Kint at Jason_Kint on Twitter said, whoa. Google is effectively trying to buy out the United States by tendering a cashier's check for the claimed max damages from screwing industry with ad tech power abuses. U.S. DOJ's ad tech antitrust trial seeking to break them up is months away. So the DOJ said that the max damages that Google would have to pay would be X. It's redacted, so we don't know. So what Google did before the trial is they said, we're going to pay a cashier's check, which means the money's in the bank, payable to the United States for the maximum amount of damages that they could be forced to pay.
Guilty.
Yeah, I'll say.
It has, in fact, paid the U.S. every dollar they could possibly hope to recover. So it's trying to say, here you go. It's the most you could possibly recover. We're just going to pay it. And they're trying to get it switched from a jury to a bench trial, so it's not by peers and that the information won't come out. So they're trying to say, if we could do this now, we won't go to a jury. And to them, the money, this is from Jason Kint, the money's an afterthought. They clearly don't want is a jury of Americans reviewing damning evidence, which may be harder to appeal, leading to a structural remedy. And then Jason goes on to say, LOL, gee. This lawsuit is smart for a jury, as U.S. explained Google's alleged abuse, so Americans understand it by comparing Google's market power on all sides to Wall Street. Hell, Google's own executive made this analogy. If Goldman or Citibank owned the New York Stock Exchange, a jury will get this. So yeah, good luck with this one, Google. The point of the lawsuit is to break you up. Parallel ad tech suits, plus you lost App Store suit to a jury. A search decision is coming late summer and EU closing in on ad tech too. Walls closing in. You feel it? He also tweeted the cashier's check from Wells Fargo that Google tried to give to the DOJ and the note. And it says, by hand delivery. Dear Mr. Kane, our client Google is voluntarily tendering payment for the full amount of damages alleged by the United States in the above referenced case, and closes cashier's check from Wells Fargo Bank in the amount of X. This payment includes X, the maximum amount of treble damages the United States could recover on this matter from its own expert's calculation, plus X, the amount of prejudgment interest calculated by a United States expert through June 30th, 2024. Please note this voluntary tender of full monetary relief is not and should not be construed either as an admission that Google is liable in this action or that the United States has suffered any damages. Google expressly denies liability for all claims asserted against it. Google makes this payment solely to moot the United States damages claim in order to streamline this litigation for efficient resolution of the remaining equitable claims.
It would be so nice to just be able to write away anything that you don't want someone to think.
Yeah. Look how wide those boxes are that are redacted.
It's pretty wide.
Large numbers. That's a good point.
And can I tell you guys, if I get sued for something that I'm going to deny liability from and I'm not admitting guilt to, do you know what the one thing I'm not going to do is?
Write a check.
For the full amount! I'm going to court! That's the last thing I would do. For the maximum amount. Crazy world we're living in.
All right, first up in social this week, after X Daily News posted about users no longer seeing the likes tab in their profiles, the platform confirmed that they are indeed testing that and gave an explanation as to why. They basically said that when your views are or your likes are publicly viewable, it might incentivize the wrong behavior. People might be afraid to like things that are considered edgy or something that is like retaliation or troll fodder. So this way, by hiding the likes, they are able to, you can feel comfortable to like things essentially, and then the content that is curated for you will be more aligned with your
It's
interests.
like the funnest part, seeing what people like.
I know, but if it's going to discourage folks from liking the things that they like, I think we should be supportive of that. So I'm into it.
Don't like weird stuff.
Says the guy who likes the weirdest stuff.
I don't publicly like that.
Yeah,
You just announced it on your podcast.
Coming next.
X is also now developing a new way to use Grok, a Grok analysis button that will essentially fact check any post in the app. It is not quite ready yet, as Mr. Musk said, but X Daily News has a demo of the button showing up and then it telling them that they're not authorized to use the feature. So that's fun.
And can I just say something?
Please.
Why does everybody go out and tout something that's like, X is the best because it has community notes. It's edited and moderated and curated by individuals, and there's great information. And then you come up here and you're like, everything that I've been preaching about since I bought Twitter is now gone because we have a rock analysis button. It's such a stupid way to do business. You lean into community notes or don't. Like, don't sell me a bill of goods and then switch it and give me grok analysis. I'm sorry. It's so dumb. What are you even thinking? I have no idea what you're doing. It's a stupid company. I hope it runs under the ground.
It's a grok. All right, next up, everybody's doing it, so why can't I? The platform, LinkedIn, is automatically adding labels to AI-generated content that's being posted in the feed, and users can then click in for more info. That's fine. We all know that TikTok has been slowly increasing the length of videos that can be uploaded to the platform. They could be close to another one of those updates. With limited users in select markets, they are testing the ability to share videos that are as long as 60 minutes, which is a whole hour if you can do math. Do you need that? Maybe not, but something really interesting is the possibility of TV episodes fitting into that. You can definitely see the potential there. It makes the platform more attractive to larger players. People are previewing TV shows like the first episode on other platforms. If TikTok can get in on that, my theory is that if you get the buy-in of the media giants, you're either more attractive to sell to US-based ownership, or just have a bunch more folks to lobby on your behalf and you don't get banned. Just saying. Meanwhile, TikTok is launching a new program to support creators on the platform. This time it is geared towards those who are boosting or helping others. The TikTok Changemakers program will highlight creators and nonprofits who create meaningful change in their communities through TikTok. So if that is you, check that out. It's a 6-month program. For those in the for-profit game, the platform has also announced a new certification for advertisers. It's the TikTok Media Buying Certification, which maybe not the most important badge you can wear, but people who register for that get access to additional resources. So if you're advertising on the platform or want to, it is definitely worth checking out. And Pinterest claims it is becoming a bigger focus for young shopping-ready audiences. According to the platform, Gen Z is their fastest growing audience, making up more than 40% of global monthly users. They're more engaged than other generations, and they're also searching and saving at higher rates. So there is a new report, if you want to tap into this audience, on how what the trends are for Gen Z and some fluffy advice on how to reach them. A nugget from that, Gen Z searches on the platform are up 30% year over year. So worth a read if you want some ideas on how to reach those folks. And if you want to expand your reach on Instagram, you can heed or not this advice from Adam Mosseri. He said in a recent Q&A that more important than watch time or like and comment counts is send rates. And generally, I think the rate is more important than the count. So the number of sends per reach, the number of likes per reach, the number of comments per reach. But sends per reach correlate more in my experience with the overall reach than anything else. So basically, people sharing content is a big player in the algorithm. I say don't just focus on trying to get people to share your stuff. Just make good stuff and they'll share it and you'll be fine. Something cool, if you put a lot of time into Instagram stories, a new test might extend their life beyond that 24-hour mark. There's a new lately highlight that is showing up on some profile pages that is being tested according to the screenshots that have been shared by app researcher Hammond O. Stories are automatically shared to the lately highlight and removed after 7 days. So they go away from like your story feed, but they're there then for a week in lately. So could be cool if you put a lot of effort into that. Nice to get a little more bang for your buck.
And that brings us to our real life segment, straight out of our accounts and into your ear holes. It's time for Working Hard or Hardly Working, where we talk about what's going on in our IRL work, good, bad, or otherwise.
I have a B2B account, and performance is directly impacted by the number of working days in the month. So at the beginning of the month, I'm always like, temperature check, we have 22 days this month, blah, blah, blah. So now we're actually reporting on the average number of conversions per business day. And I think it's really going to help communicate better.
I think that is so smart.
Because it's hard to compare month over month. Jess?
I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. The calendar. It is okay to block out time to get stuff done. I was in back-to-backs my entire day yesterday, including on the car ride to a meeting to see a client. So today I put a nice big chunk in my calendar and said, hold please, and actually got to prepare for this show. It is okay to take the time to do the work you need to do, even though meetings and conversations can be really important too. Greg?
And for me, PMAX, I just wish it had some stability. We have an account where we have weeks where it's phenomenal, weeks where it's terrible, and I think that's something that it would be nice to be able to have a little bit more predictability to PMAX. Mm-hmm. It is so hard to try to figure out what it's going to do. I would just like it to be a little bit more predictable because it can still be wild with no changes to a campaign.
Now it's time for this week's ICYMI.
ICYMI people.
This is something you just might not have seen. Maybe something that you overlooked, but you shouldn't have.
ICYMI people, there is a new Twitter X whatever account called Good Enough at Goog Enough, but it means good enough. At Goog_enough on X. And it's the bio is here to collect and amplify bad Google SERPs and AI overviews. Tag your examples with hashtag GoogEnough, accepting submissions via DM if you want to remain anonymous. And there's just, everyone should follow. There's really good examples. One of my favorites is GoogEnough shared, how are your 40s going, 90s kids? And it says, query is something like, how old is Magic the Gathering? And the AI overview says, Magic the Gathering was released in 1993, making it 39 years old. And as someone who's born in 1992, I take great offense. There's also
38.
Yeah.
You don't look 38.
Thanks. Lily Ray had a good example where people were asking about women in their 50s. It says women in their 50s include Christy Brinkley, Diana Ross, and Leah Remini. And quick Google search or just knowing anything about class, you would know that Diana Ross is 80, okay?
Yeah, that's a big gap.
So it's really fun. Everybody follow, submit your good one. You know, you got to keep it light.
Now it's time for our must-read marketing article of the week. An article so advanced, so in-depth, so detailed that we simply cannot cover it in its entirety on today's show.
This week's must-read marketing article of the week comes from Benjamin Wenner on Search Engine Land, and it's called How to Use the New Customer Acquisition Goal in Google Ads. Sometimes you just want information. Benjamin breaks this down. I think one thing that's important is he talks about how Google identifies new versus existing customers and how to get that right, what the automatic detection is, customer list uploads, conversion tracking tags. And it goes on beyond just new versus existing classification, talks about how you can avoid being tripped up when doing this, how to implement the new customer acquisition tracking, and a whole lot more. There's a bunch of code in here. And if you are looking for a new customer acquisition goal information, this is the go-to. Thank you, Benjamin.
And now on to our playlist of curated songs to work to. You can head over to playlist.marketingatclock.com to listen to Marketing a Playlist. I will be adding a bar song by Shabuzi. Greg, are you prepared?
Yes, I'm going to go in with Daydreamin' by Lupe Fiasco.
Jess?
So today on my way to work, for the second time this week, I screamed at the top of my lungs along to Drops of Jupiter by Train.
Oh.
Dear Lord.
The Taylor Swift version is really good.
Taylor's version is also good. I
That's
listened to
pre-murder.
that today.
That is pre-murder. I'm telling Michelle Robbins about this.
All right, that does it for today's show.
It is now officially not Marketing a Clock.
Thanks for listening.
We miss you already.
We can't wait to see you next week.
Thanks for listening to Marketing a Clock. If you're looking for more information on today's topics, head over to marketingaclock.com/newsletter to receive every single article we covered. We share the news as it breaks in our Discord community. Head over to community.marketingaclock.com to join.
Welcome to this week's Shootin' the Heck. We're after our famous Friday news show. We don't talk about marketing anymore. We just
shoot the heck.
Today we're playing everybody's favorite game. This is inspired by one of Greg's favorite, words of the moment.
Words of the moment?
Pre-murder. You've been saying it a lot.
Well, there's pre-murder where there's something awry and you say that's so strange. That's like a pre-murder thing.
Okay. And I take it as something that somebody does that would be a sign that they
100%.
Would be a murderer one day. Yeah, okay. Exactly. So we're going to do some confessionals about some tendencies that we have that could be considered pre-murder.
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
You can go first.
Okay.
I don't know how dark to get on it. It's not dark. It's just gross. But go.
I have been criticized a lot, and I don't get why. When I crack an egg, I put the shell right back in the carton.
That is crazy.
I don't understand.
And then you put it in the fridge?
I'm always going to wash my hands anytime I touch the egg carton anyway. What does it matter? Why am I going to walk across the kitchen with an eggshell that's going to like fall on the floor?
There's bacteria. The egg
so
just
what?
shell
In your
protects
fridge?
it.
So what if I am cracking an egg? I'm going to cook it after. So what is the bacteria like afraid? What are we scared it's going to
Well,
get
put the
on?
shell
But is the
back in
carton
fridge.
going back in the fridge?
Yes.
No.
That's ridiculous.
I have some photos.
That might be murder.
Yeah,
That might not be
that is
pre-murder.
actually that you should
Why
be
would you do
murdered
that?
for that.
I don't understand why you wouldn't. Anytime
Because
you're
the
going
egg shell is like Tupperware for the egg.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just leave stuff outside of the Tupperware.
But if you're going to crack another egg the next day,
Do you
It's
just put
gonna be
another one in
cooked,
there?
but
and then
it's-
you have week-old, like 2
Yeah,
week old
I have-
eggshells.
It's
Yeah.
floating around in
Disgusting.
your fridge, though. It's not about the other eggs. It's about like the cheese
I
and
take it
the
back. Yours is
butter
way
and
grosser
whatever
than
else
that.
you got in there.
it's in the carton. It's not going to get on anything else. I wash my hands.
It's not airtight. The egg cartons are not airtight. Chef, I love you.
That is
the
we could
salmonella
not
or whatever
live together.
doesn't permeate in the fridge.
It's just floating around in there and all the other food
No.
that you're licking.
Wait till you hear my next one. Okay, Greg, what do you have next?
I'm feeling less bad about mine already.
Okay, I'll go with a tame one. But you guys know, like, I like watching, like, gnarly stuff. Like, fight videos, the poop lady, like, injuries.
What is
stuff.
the poop
What's the
lady?
poop lady?
It's that Hoarders. Have you ever seen the poop lady?
I don't want to know.
I'll pay you
scared.
$100 if you can watch the poop lady without making a face.
No. Was it on cable?
Yeah, the Hoarders. It's just a Hoarders.
What is
episode.
she
What is she?
hoarding?
Yeah.
Poop?
No. Does she just?
You can do a little search.
Her own?
It's not good. But it makes me feel good about myself. I'm like, sometimes you just feel a little
That's
down.
what you're comparing it to.
And you're like, hey, you know what? On levels of like immaculate to poop lady, I'm way closer to immaculate.
Where is my egg thing?
It's right. It's
borderline
right around
poop
poop
lady.
lady. No, but like if you looked at like the video history, you'd be like, this is a breed murder.
Yeah. I don't.
Do you want to take a look at poop lady right now and engage your?
Seems like you want me to.
Wait.
No, you
So
don't
what
have
is your?
to.
So your
I'll put
pre-murder
it up, yeah.
behavior is that you'll watch this?
I enjoy watching it.
Oh God.
I don't like it already.
That thumbnail is horrid.
I'm gonna grow up.
No, this is.
Oh, no,
Oh
yeah,
no! Turn it off! Turn it off! Turn it off!
I told you it's bad.
Did she drink it?
A bucket. This is a good one. The bucket.
There's something wrong with you.
What's
Sorry.
worse, hers or mine?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm being dead serious. What do you think is a worse?
As far
violation?
as like if I was living with either of you, I
Yes.
could walk by the living room, you watching that, and get on with my life. But my food is in Shep's fridge with the eggs, so Shep
and
is
I'm
worse.
just, I'm like just giggling. Like I'm just like this is amazing. This is something.
They're both messed up, but that lady's a lot more messed up than you are.
Oh yeah, for sure.
She's post-murder. She's done things.
Yeah,
That's the
she's on
fertilizer.
Shep's level.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. Okay, Jess, what's your next one?
I didn't know that we were going this crazy. So my first one is just that where'd it go? I will not respond to text messages for like days on end. And then when I finally do, it's 2 a.m. and I hope that you don't have your sound on.
I already knew that about you.
Yeah.
That's just you.
And you have those red notifications all over your phone.
Everywhere.
I may have shared this before. Since I was a wee lass, I love popcorn so much. Like, I've thrown up from overeating it multiple times in my adult life, but I'll
Is that what
eat
you
it.
just did over there? You had too much popcorn?
When I'm like alone on my couch, I'll have a big bowl of popcorn and I like take the crunchy part, I like dissect it and I eat the crunchy part and then I collect the fluffy middle parts and then I save them for the end.
Wait.
So you eat the knob and you leave like the leaves.
No, I eat the leaves and save the knobs
Oh.
and then I shove them all into my mouth at once and they melt in your mouth.
I don't think that's pre-murder. I think that's just
It's
like
just a strange habit.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
It's worth trying, I guess.
Because
Trying
those
new
are the
ones.
best parts, so I want to save them for the end.
I don't think that's crazy. I think that's
Okay.
smart.
Okay. My husband disagrees. What's your next one?
I'm just gonna go with one that I think is probably the most pre-murder about me. Nothing really wrong with it, but I once made a documentary about a person because he said once that they couldn't stop dislike attacks on YouTube and had to get rid of the dislike button.
That was pretty crazy.
So I went ahead and made an entire documentary on the person with
did.
Tables made.
Shout
it.
out us
I was
all
the star.
involved. Yeah.
That's kind of
Company
wild.
time.
Just because the
like
guy
you
lied.
paid us
Yeah.
to make that documentary.
Yes. Because I was so mad that he lied. He just lied. He was like, oh, I'm YouTube. I can't figure out how to stop dislike attacks. And it's like, that is the dumbest example, like response ever. And so we made a documentary. That's
Like,
crazy.
a lot of
bit
people
extreme.
forget about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy.
That is. a little
What's
bit
your next
crazy.
one, Jess?
I just feel like
We
none
can
of them
end
are
on
that
this,
bad.
too.
Yeah. We're gonna end
Yeah,
here.
we'll bring it back next week.
All right. So you guys know that I like going to the post office. I love
Yeah,
the
that's
DMV.
pre-murder.
Oh my
Yes.
I
You love
like
CAPTCHAs.
banks.
Everything
captchas,
you
yeah.
do is pre-murder.
So I realized recently that even though you're usually there for like not good reasons, I really like to be inside a hospital.
Are you kidding?
That's pre-murder.
I like going to a parking garage. I like getting a ticket. I like having to check in. I feel like
can't get
I
on
have
fast.
purpose.
They're the worst places in the world.
I agree with you, and I have spent a lot of time this year in the hospital for sad things, right? Like, but I just it's like a comfort thing.
the
at the
food
same
is
time.
inedible.
No, the last place, I'd rather live at the poop lady's house than the hospital. No, thank you. Yeah, you had to pick. I would take poop lady.
I would not. I think she has more germs.
And they're loud. You can't get any sleep. The nurses are waking you up. I've only been to have a baby.
oh,
but
see, I mean as a visitor. I don't even mean like being in
No!
the
No,
hospital.
no.
you got to take your photo on that ID badge like we just did when we visited the client and it was half my head in the picture. You got to walk around with it all day.
You got to ride elevators with strangers, but they say nice things to you
Yeah,
sometimes
and
because
the
everybody's
strangers
having
are
a
all
bad
there
day.
for sad reasons. It's terrible.
Listen, I understand how crazy this is, but I like to be at a hospital.
That is worse than the eggs.
Maybe.
It is.
I
That's
agree.
by far
Obviously,
the
I
most
agree.
murder thing ever.
Yeah. Maybe you should like reconsider your career choices if you like hospitals so much.
I've just had a lot of like good conversations with strangers. I don't know. I feel like I have purpose. Okay.
Okay, well, hopefully you'll still listen next week and we'll see you then.
You know what time it is. It's officially marketing o'clock. Settle in, sit back, keep it locked.